After Trippie Redd being in the rap scene for like 7 years now, he definitely deserves his respect, especially after everything he's achieved, but somehow is still one of the most hated rappers from this generation. Hear me out before you start commenting stuff. In my opinion, I just feel like Trippie Redd is overhated as an artist and doesn't get the respect he deserves. There are certain periods where he's loved, but most of the time he's hated on in general, which I'll talk about later in the video. But let's talk about what Trippie Redd has actually done in his career, with him being one of the main rappers to blow up out of SoundCloud, and to remain so relevant today is crazy. Because most SoundCloud rappers have fallen off, with the only relevant ones today being Lil Uzi, Cardi, Yachty, and Ski. And obviously Trippie Redd. Juice and X would have been some of the biggest rappers right now if they never passed away too. But whenever I think of SoundCloud era for rap, I think of Trippie, Uzi, and X. Like those being the main 3 rappers I think of. But at the start of Trippie Redd's career, I feel like he was respected on a lot. Because you know, he had a song with X called Love. And that was like one of the biggest songs on SoundCloud and did good numbers. Everyone loved Trippie at the time. And X. But Love would have over 1.7 billion streams on Spotify, with the song going diamond, which is like 10 times platinum, which is crazy as Trippie would drop amazing albums from 2017 to 2018, with him dropping albums like A Love Letter to You 1, 2, and 3, with him also dropping Life's a Trip, with A Love Letter to You 3 and Life's a Trip being some of Trippie Redd's best albums and classic albums. And at this point, everyone genuinely loved Trippie and these albums. But in 2019, Trippie would drop Explanation Mark, with it being hated on a lot by a lot of people. There was more hate than good. But in my opinion, I f***ed this album a lot and I fucked it a lot when it first came out. And there would probably be no skips in my opinion. Like, every song is genuinely fire on this song. Like, you gotta actually listen to it again and give it a chance before you start hating. People would say the only good song would be the song with Playboi Carti, which got removed like in the week of or something, but find that on YouTube. And this is when people would start saying Trippie Redd fell off, which he's never have. Then Trippie Redd would drop A Love Letter to You for a couple months later, with this album being solid in my opinion, with only a couple skips. Then everyone would switch up and say that Trippie Redd is back, everyone loves Trippie now, and then this album has no misses. Like, how are you gonna just hate on him like 3 months ago, then love him now? Like, just pick a side. How are you gonna glaze Trippie Redd on one album, next album say he's fallen off and he's mid, then say he's fire again? I understand not liking an album from a rapper, but this, like, Trippie Redd was genuinely getting hated on, and like, not getting the respect he deserves from the rap community. But I'll talk about this more later on though. In 2020, Trippie Redd would drop Pegasus, which once again, people would switch up and hate on this album. And they'll say that Trippie Redd has fallen off and that he's washed, which this album is genuinely good. There's still skips on this album of course, but most rappers have skips on their albums. But Pegasus wasn't a bad album. You got amazing songs on this album like We, V12, No Honorable Mention, and many more. But then Trippie Redd would drop the deluxe of this album with Neon Shark, with it actually having mixed opinions and like reviews from what I've seen. With half the people saying it was better than Pegasus, and the other people saying it's mid and Trippie Redd has fallen off. Later this year, Trippie Redd would drop Trip at Night, with everyone and their mama switching up. Trippie had most of the rap fans hating on him, calling him mid, saying he's fallen off, to all of them glazing the fuck out of Trippie Redd on this album and saying it was fire. Like, pick a side. I f***ed this album a lot though, and it was the last super solid album that Trippie Redd has dropped. But the fans or people who hate an artist for one album and then glaze the fuck out of them for the next album is just genuinely annoying. Like I said, you don't have to be a fan of everything a rapper drops, but just don't be saying they fell off in their mid and then start glazing them a year later. This has just been a repeated cycle for Trippie Redd and rap fans been saying to him. But Trippie Redd will drop 3 albums in 2023 with Mansion Music, Love Letter to You 5 and St. Michael. With Mansion Music being one of Trippie Redd's worst albums in my opinion, having like 25 songs and only half the album being solid and the other half being mid. And it just got too repetitive for me and boring. But these 3 albums Trippie Redd dropped in 2023, everyone would switch up again and start hating on Trippie. You get what I mean now? And it's literally a cycle of everyone glazing him, then 1 year later, hating on him and saying he's fallen off. Trippie did drop a collab EP with Machine Gun Kelly called Genre Sad Boy, and everyone hated it, well at least most people. But I loved it in my opinion. I thought it was a solid EP, maybe like 1 skip, but it was overall a solid EP. But most people want the underground type, opium type, they don't want that emotional music anymore, which like I kind of understand, but at least like give this music a chance. And Trippie Redd is like a goat from this generation. But now Trippie Redd is in the rollout for his next album, Live, Love, Laugh, Die, and everyone and their mum is liking his music and saying Trippie Redd is gonna have a comeback. You were just literally hating on him when Genre Sad Boy dropped, and now you're all on his what the fuck? It's just annoying how 1 minute people are all over Trippie and showing him love, the next minute they hate him. Like, you can only pick one side, you can't keep switching up of being a fan of him and being not a fan. Like, you can be a fan of someone then just not like their stuff, just don't publicly hate on them, which most people were doing for Trippie. But overall, I feel like Trippie deserves more respect, and he was one of the best rappers from the SoundCloud era. Still manages to have a solid fan base and not fall off even after being in the rap scene for 7 years. Most rappers fall off after a couple years, but Trippie still manages not to fall off. And he's also one of the most versatile rappers, and people don't give him the respect for that, and they should. Let me know if you agree though. Check out my channel for more rap videos, like and subscribe if you enjoyed. It's been DC, see ya.